You have seen the signs around you. The gradual creeping decay. You have realized that something is wrong with the media all around you. You know that you are different. This is why you are ready to become a receiver. You have been issued a series of audio cassette tapes that are part of our system for advancing insight. By continually listening to these tapes, you will drown out and eventually counteract the negative influences from your environment. Once you have absorbed these tapes, you will have taken the first step towards awakening your true self. The media is a threat. We have a technique to help. We use tapes as part of this technique. You must listen to them to advance. Control your breathing as you approach the door, slowly slicing the pie as you go. You are in the fatal funnel now as you move a semicircle past the door, but don't rush. See everything. Focus beyond that front sight. Let your body aim for you. Breathe. Corners clear. It's time to choose a direction and commit. Left or right? Which way lies victory? Which way death? Only one way to find out. Breathe. Don't dawdle in the doorway. You're a silhouette and that's where the guns are aimed. And sweep the room smoothly to encompass the whole space. It's a difficult thing, but practice makes perfect. Slow is smooth. Smooth is fast. When Greg's anger started to build after a humiliating rejection, he asked one of his friends to change the code on his gun safe so that the threat couldn't get to them. When the threat controlled him and tried to get the code back to take revenge on the world, his friend refused, and they fought and were arrested. When Greg resumed his receiver training, he learned to direct his anger back towards the thread where it belonged, and how to channel that energy into reshaping his life and defending against the mind kill. He took up parkour as a hobby and found that moving his body really helped calm his mind. He eventually started a successful business teaching parkour to children, rebranding playgrounds to appeal to the next generation. We live in a world in which hostile thoughts and ideas are constantly present in the media, on our consciousness. Events are often also outside of our control, but not outside of control. Others use these concepts and events to create anxiety. Thoughts flow in a sequence, and by inserting harmful media into your life, your thoughts can be hijacked. Once you are behaving in a reactive state, you will spread these contaminated ideas to others, allowing them to degrade more people. Basic media safety. Control your information and act, don't react. The body and mind are linked. Physical actions are a manifestation of mental actions. Thus, training to protect the body also protects the mind. Controlling your environment controls your thoughts. You, your body, and your environment are part of a larger whole. Control your thoughts. Control your body. Control your environment. And control your fate. When Bob returned from his second tour, he found it even harder to reintegrate to civilian life. When he started feeling like his life insurance would give his family more value than his presence, he started to lock up his sidearm and ammo separately. When the threat tried to kill him with carbon monoxide, it failed, barely. As he resumed his receiver training, he began to realize how important he was to his family and how hard it was to almost lose him. He started to see how deeply connected he was to his web of reality, no matter how alone he felt, and how painful it would be for everyone if the threat tore him out of that web. He learned to see the value in being a stay-at-home dad, and eventually wrote a popular book on the subject, drawing funny and insightful comparisons between parenting and soldiering. This building, this place, it doesn't make much sense. While I know this isn't the same room as before, it still feels familiar. More like a fictional place than the real world. It's like someone made copies of copies and lost the original intent of all the objects long ago. Together, we have laid the foundation. You have shown great potential, but the potential is yet to be realized. We have sent the message. Can you hear it? There is an insidious force moving through your media, weakening the mind and causing widespread dysfunction. We call this the threat. We have developed a technique called Mind Tech to combat this threat. A new set of tapes has been issued to train and prepare you. To progress in mind tech is to become aware of your own thoughts. Eventually, each thought will become clear and distinct. Solid, incredibly dense, but irregularly shaped. When combined with other specific thoughts in the right pattern, they will fit into place, forming a solid wall of defense. If you run out of ammo, you can no longer defend yourself against kill drones. However, they are predictable, and with enough focus, you can get past them without using your firearm at all. You have seen the signs around you. The gradual creeping, decay, and dysfunction. You have realized that something is wrong with the media and the people around you. You know that you are different. This is why you are ready to become a receiver. You have been issued a series of audio cassette tapes that are part of our system for advancing insight. By continually listening to these tapes, you will drown out and eventually counteract the negative influences from your environment. Once you have absorbed these tapes, you will have taken the first step towards awakening your true self. The media is a threat. We have a technique to help. We use tapes as part of this technique. You must listen to them to advance. It's common knowledge that some needs are a higher priority than others. People note that in order to pursue some, others must be fulfilled first. They frame the complex situation using a simple, unrealistic example, like how you can't be happy if you don't have air to breathe. These simplifications are used to hide more complex truths, that the body sustains the mind, and the mind sustains the body. The most present needs are in the domain of the mind. Without baseline function of thought, you can find yourself without the will to move or eat. Strengthening the mind by developing focus and resilience is the goal of a technique we call Mind Tech. Receivers know that the biggest predictor of success is true grit, the ability to maintain resolve in the face of adversity. The only way to develop this trait is through practice. The rivalry between Colt and Smith and Wesson is as old as time itself, assuming that the universe was created in 1852. Now, Wesson was largely unknown at the time and still reeling from his brother's sudden death and the seizure of gunsmithing tools by predators. He partnered with Daniel Levitt to carefully work out Colt's patents to create a slightly different revolver based on his brother's ideas, and had started to successfully rebuild his business when Sam Colt sensed a threat to his monopoly and drove Wesson back to bankruptcy with lawsuits and legal fees. But when patents ran out, Wesson came back with a vengeance, and the Smith & Wesson versus Colt revolver debate continues to this day. Even though the modern differences consist of whether the cylinder rotates clockwise or counterclockwise and whether the cylinder release should be pulled or pushed. And ultimately, it comes down to personal preference and how they feel in the individual's hand.